I said I was going to do a follow-up video for the Harden Steenbeck review, and this one I'm going to talk about the spray test, how it manages thick paints or any paint, and a little bit about the ergonomics, something that I mentioned the last video. So far, I managed to make it work using a consistency that resembles milk, as some say is going to be good. And some people say, how would I measure or how would I know what is the consistency of milk? Well, I found very easy. If I put the paint in this transparent glass and make a comparison of how much it takes to fade when it touches the border, and it takes about, I don't know, a few seconds. Something similar to what I can see or I can do with this paint. This paint is about 80% reducer, which I use this reducer for this specific paint, and it gives me fairly decent results. Which kind of results? Somehow they're not consistent, honestly, but I will question my skill all day long and I will keep practicing. Okay, then something along this, very hard to keep consistently getting, even with this mixture 80 to 20 and the 4, that is something that is very important to say, 0.45 nozzle set, it's sometimes difficult to get the consistency for that little hint of paint that show up before you do anything. Don't breed this paints, any paint. I used to work with a BL, Pache, very random brush. Today they are legacy, I believe. They're expensive. They're not like, there's much better brushes. They're just like paying for legacy now, I believe. This is my opinion. So at almost 20 psi, gives me decent results. There's no splashing. So for fine lines is, I believe, the way I found it to be consistent. Other than that, remember I'm talking about the 0.45 is not so good. Well, I will argue about the mystics of paint, which is probably many things are true. You're not gonna use impastos of oil with a thing like this, and I could probably take care not to clog my brush with some Arabic gum using watercolors. And for the most part, the thing is that I don't want to find out some polymeric nightmare stuck into it, dried into the hairbrush. But so far, I believe that the paint should work based on the viscosity. So that's why I give you this idea, or it's something that people before me have said. The consistency of milk is basically what you should use. Of course, bear in mind the psi and the nozzle size and all. Well, this is this nozzle size. For the 2.8, this would not work very well. 0.28. That one worked like somehow. This results. I don't like the fact that if I try to do lines, I will get some good fine lines, but they're not very consistent. This is 90-10%, and you have to be very careful to lower your psi because it's going to splash a lot. And the points are not so dark with that mixture. So, well, everyone has to do his own. And this is like, I believe, 50-50 for a black. Sometimes I get very bad results. With the 4.5, I cannot get to this kind of line work, or even the dagger strokes with thin ends. I believe these are my favorites to work, and I can only get these results with this. But then I want to talk about the ergonomics. And the thing is, the air bulb is very stiff. It's very, very, very stiff. I read somewhere that you need at least somewhere around 500 grams of pressure for the air to come out, which is quite a lot. And a lot of people know this. It's not my thing. Many people, or some people, have developed some solutions to this. I just found a spring from this pen and this one, and it works very well to customize the option to spray a little bit easier, but haven't found a solution for this, at least not near me right now. So I have to push for a long amount of time here. And this border, I consider, as I said, very beautiful piece of almost jewelry. And only that I'm not going to hang this from my neck. They're beautiful. It's a little bit rough. I'm not wielding an axe, but I'm going to develop some calluses here for sure. It's pretty tough. The other thing is, ergonomics are kind of failing me. My hands are not too big, not too short. And I'm not going to grab it like this, or I'm not going to work like this, because it'll be funny. Even though it's a possibility. I will swap hands to avoid the pain, and I will sure develop quite the skill after a while. I'm pretty sure I can do that. So when I push this very hard, the airbrush, even though I'm handling the hose, will stabilize. My hand will stabilize. But if I push hard, I feel that it's slippery. It goes up. So I said that I put something to avoid that. But for the most part, I don't know. I believe is because of the tough air bulb. This paint is do me wrong. I'm sorry. So I don't want this to be so long. If you watch so far, I appreciate it. Then I want to show this results. I believe I was making this kind of exercise, which is a little bit difficult from a Russian girl over YouTube. These are very demanding, very, very demanding. With the 4.5 with milk consistency, it's the only way I found it working. And yeah, I think if I would have get the solo setup, would have been really hard to get something like this, because it's really hard. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but the paint should be really thin. This is like kind of giggerish looking practice. Not very so I have here points from 2 inches practice, kind of reliable at that point. I believe for miniature painters, it is spraying beautifully. It sprays very nice. Somehow when I try to get the same consistency here, okay, that was water spitting. Sometimes I'm going to get difficult results, but the thing that kind of I don't like it to be so tough. The airball is very, very strong, and here I don't have a way to adjust the trigger tension, but well, this spring will fix it. It's pretty nice. So if you watch this so far, I appreciate it. I really do. And well, I hope this really helped someone who would like to get this brush or another to make his mind about this. For me, I don't know if this is a deal killer. There's way too many features. This nozzle cap, the triple chrome, the ease of use, ease of disarming this, and many things I mentioned are amazing. But for the actual work and many hours getting along with this beauty, well, I'm still thinking about it. Thank you again, and have a good one.